Danny Davis is a business futurist and a leading global authority on enhanced governance practices for increased innovation, productivity and outperformance in large-scale organisations and public networks. Now, Danny, he joins us now to tell us about government budgeting. Danny, a pleasure to have you on. Please, what is the difference between a wellbeing budget and the normal budget handed down by previous Australian governments? Why is this so controversial?
Well, great question. I'm not sure a lot of people know, but the federal budget that's due to be handed down by Jim Chalmer in October has been described as a wellbeing budget. And that really sets it aside from previous federal budgets because it's focused on not just the financial and economic impact of the budget, but actually the social and economic well-being impact of the budget. The idea is it tries to measure the impact that the government activity and expenditure will have on normal Australians, on everybody, on their lives, on their well-being, and not just on the budget itself. It's kind of controversial because a lot of people just accuse it of being airy-fairy and fluffy, and the previous Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, said that it would be a replacement of economic rationalism with hippie beads and chanting. But it's not that. It's done well anyway, and let's come to that proviso. It's about adding in the measures of what the budget is intended to achieve for actual Australians, as well as the economic disciplines. So it could be a real new pathway and a new door opening to a future way of describing how government and government spending is going to impact the future of the country.
So, Danny, what you're saying is that there really is an opportunity here, and now it's up to Labor, I guess, to deliver this new budget. So how do you think this will impact Australia's economic future?
Well, that's right. There have been a number of economic wellbeing budgets put forward. I think New Zealand did one. There have been some around Europe, etc. But it's a fairly new concept. And what we're yet to see is whether Labor just goes for wellbeing light and just goes for the nice wishy-washy, one could say kind of greenwashing aspects of a budget, or whether they really get into the detail and the economic mechanisms that underlie it. So, my own area of research and my PhD and my work at the UTS Institute of Public Policy and Governance, etc., is looking at how the mechanisms that Treasury will use to engage these wellbeing measures aligns with the very, very best disciplines that are happening in the most stunningly outperforming companies in the world. So there are some companies that are massively innovating and they are massively outperforming the rest of their peers. This could be an opportunity for government to do the same. The Australian government may be opening that door to a new way of improved practice, or they might just be greenwashing us. We're yet to find that out.
And we will find out. But Danny, just to wrap up, of course, given your unique perspective as a business futurist, what can Australia's leading companies learn from this? Is there opportunity for them to gain competitive advantage, I guess, by understanding and aligning with this change? And what about investors too?
Well, absolutely. So, companies generally do tend to study, particularly large companies, really do study the budget in some detail. I'd advise them to really look at the detail of not just what's being spent, but how the budget is constructed and what is being measured in terms of outcomes, to reflect on how they can operate themselves better. All businesses are now exposed not just to the financial, but to the social, the environmental, all sorts of different outcomes they need to achieve. And there are definitely better ways of doing it. And as I said before, the research really shows that those companies who do it well massively outperform. We're talking about 800% performance improvement over 10 years compared to other ASX leaders. So there's a lot to learn from this, and we're hoping that this is a real capability lift for Australian economy and productivity across the board.
Well, Danny, thank you for bringing this to light, and we'll be eager to see exactly what unfolds on the table in October. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.